My mother gave to me life. Well, I wasn't born on Christmas Day, but being born December 12th, 1995 means my birthday is literally 12 days until my family celebrates Christmas. So, very few birthday traditions actually went around when I was a kid because I didn't live in one place for a very long time. So that being said, I always got to hear that song every day. The other part of the tradition was I never got a gift on my birthday, not once. I always got books for Christmas, and I think they took it as some sort of weird joke because they would just sing the song once every day until Christmas. Then I'd get a book. Terrible people. But that aside, as a kid I loved to read, and so that was the reason I always got books. So, that being said, I enjoy reading newspaper articles too. Everyone keeps saying, this day has everything to do with everyone else that's not me. So I say, why not make it about me? I chose all articles that pertain to me and the things that I enjoy. So, starting in 1989, on December 12th, from the LA Times, an article titled, Hong Kong Deports Boat People for the First Time, caught my interest. Now, people might think, what does Hong Kong have to do with this white kid standing in the middle of a classroom? Well, coming to college, my roommate lives 45 minutes from China, or 45 minutes from Hong Kong, which is in China, so I guess she does live from China. Either way, she lives in China, and so that's enlightened me to a lot of things, especially things about culture appropriation and other unnecessary things like boiling cabbage. Learned how to do that. That being said, the article talks about the 51 Vietnamese people that were deported from Hong Kong during 1989. Now, it's weird to think about the fact that people from China can be racist towards other Asians. I mean, that's something that I definitely would not happen. So, that being said, it's weird to think about the way people look at other people. So, Chinese weren't too happy with the Vietnamese. That being said, they called them boat people because they took boats from Vietnam to China. They deported 8 men, 11 women, and 26 kids. They broke into their house at around 3 a.m., took them into airports, and made them leave. This promoted a bunch of rallies along the people in Hong Kong and in America because we had a part in this too. So people were interested in the topic, and it was rather controversial. And this ties back to me because my roommate's from there, rather swell. Moving on, in 1980, from the Washington Post, NATO agrees, I can't read my own handwriting, sorry about that. NATO agrees on the need for tough anti-Soviet moves. Again, when I first came to college, my original major was going to be political science. I did debate all 4 years in high school. I enjoyed public speaking, and I enjoyed learning about foreign politics. That being said, Russia wanted to attack Poland. And by attack, I mean they just kind of wanted it. This was back when Russia was still a part of the Soviet Union, and NATO wasn't fond of it. This was towards the end of the Cold War, so we definitely didn't want, or NATO didn't want Russia to have Poland. The article talked about the Soviet Union wanting to take Afghanistan to the earlier year, and they did. So what we did was set up security measurements to keep them from invading Poland. We were going to increase sanctions, decrease the amount of security we put into the Midwest, and decrease their economy. We had actually helped Poland put in a pipeline that gave oil to not only the Soviet Union, but other Midwestern countries. And we had the power to take that away, and we would. So just overall, this Poland problem started with the labor workers, and the government. The economy was really bad at the time. The labor workers wanted not wages to be lower, but prices to be lower, whereas the government needed them to raise so that they could fix the economy. This didn't really work well in their favor, but the Soviet Union didn't actually end up taking Poland. Go America, helped with that. Ended the Cold War, and Poland is actually now a part of NATO, so that's pretty cool too. Moving on to the day I was born, from the New York Times in 1995, December 12th, Bill Clinton would sever the Medicaid benefits from the welfare aid. Personally, I found this interesting because as a kid, my mom was on welfare. I mean, she's a single parent, that's kind of how that works. But in 1995, there was no bipartisanship for this bill that President Clinton wanted to pass. Basically, what would happen with the bill is that the Medicaid benefits, along with things like food stamps and cash assistance, would be separated from welfare. What they wanted to do was take welfare, put it to the states, give the states a lump sum money, so like a certain amount depending on the demographic of people, and then distribute that out depending on who needed it. The biggest problem with that would be it's not really fair because it's hard to judge who does and does not need it if you're going to separate the two programs, which just made things a bit more complicated. The bill ended up working out. The bill actually helped welfare, so that was pretty swell. So all in all, Bill Clinton is actually one of my favorite presidents, so that's how that relates to me. He actually did a lot for the economy. He was rather helpful, and though maybe a little bit adulterous, he still did a relatively well job in the White House. So that being said, December 12th is a day about me, so I guess it's a good way to keep it that way.